everybody. I'm Katie, the King of the Deep. I did a much shorter intro tonight because, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure how this live stream is going to go. My upload speed is not that strong where I'm at, so let me know if you can hear me. If you're here tuning in, comment. Let me know if you guys can hear me, see me, if the stream is decent. Let me know what we're working with. I see I've got a couple people on, I think. So we're here in Florida from the graveyard in Jasper, Florida, for stop number 2 of King of the Deep series. Can y'all comment? I see I've got some people watching. Let me see. I don't even know if I've got enough service to see the comments. So if you're here, tune in, say hey, and let me know if it's working. David, I see you're watching. Let me know if you can hear anything. I just don't want to I don't want it to be cutting out and do a bad stream for you guys. I think it's working okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. So, perfect. Thank you. Y'all share this if you can. Normally, Steve is posting this as we're going live and kind of sharing it to everybody to get the word out. So if you guys don't mind, whoever is tuning in, sharing it to any of the pages that you think that, hey, No Rush Crew, that you think would be able to benefit from it. So like the Graveyard group, obviously the Rack Steve group, King of the Deep group, all that, share it for me if you don't mind. So we're here tonight. Actually had to come out of the park. The service is not, it's okay for like phone calls and stuff, but it's not that great, and it wasn't high enough for me to actually be able to go live and get decent stream quality. So I came down the road a little bit. That's why I'm by myself. Everybody else is hard at work back at the park. We have been running there all day yesterday and today, tweaking the Bounty Challenge course, working on that track and getting it ready to go. So I'll give you some updates on that here in just a little bit. I wish last year I was able to get you guys drone footage, but we didn't get it. We're still got some work to do on it. So with the pictures that I'm going to show you here shortly aren't even the totally done product. There's a little bit more work to finish up tomorrow, and then some more like water pump work that we've got to get taken care of. But I did just want to let you guys know that we are here. Everybody has been coming in. They were lined up at the gate this morning at like 7 o'clock this morning. Gates are open today from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And we went ahead and let them in just so that they, the line didn't get too long backed up to the road or anything. So a lot of people have already come in. We did a pre-sale. We've been doing pre-sales for a couple of months, and they actually sold out. They said that they were going to stop those at 11 o'clock last night, but they ended up selling out of those before then. I think it stopped at about 9:30 or 9:45. And we're out of those pre-sales. So we're still taking cash tickets at the gate. But what that means is that, not for anybody to panic, because everybody is sort of like, freaking out a little bit. A lot of our racers were worried about it if they didn't get their pre-sale tickets, things like that. If you're a racer, you know how that goes. You don't know if your part's going to get in time. You don't know if your machine's going to be broken, from the race last weekend. So a lot of our racers didn't necessarily buy their pre-sale tickets. But we've tried to make a post today. If you are a racer with us, message us, myself or Steve. We're going to make sure that you guys get on a racer list, because we don't want you to miss your points. I don't foresee us, even though the park has had so much buzz about you guys, there has been so many phone calls. The park's phone is ringing off the hook. Our phones are ringing off the hook. People are Googling King of the Deep, and they're calling our numbers to ask, questions, because they are, there's just been so much buzz about this event. So I think it's going to be a record-breaking weekend for the Graveyard. But with that being said, as I said in the live this morning, that we've got a bulldozer here, we've got an excavator here. If we've got to push back to make room for more people, then we're going to make it happen. We're going to get you in where we can fit you in. So don't panic about it. If you live locally nearby, you can always shoot up here, send somebody up here, go ahead and get your tickets and your wristbands, and then just come back later, because then you're guaranteed to be able to come in. But I don't foresee us having to shut it down. We've only ever had to do that in all the many, many years. And I mean, not just I'm talking about series, but I'm talking about years before we even did the series. We've been doing events for a long time, and we've only ever had to actually close the gate down at a park twice. Once was at Busco at Mud Bash 2020, I think it was. And that was not even a park decision. That was a state decision because of like just the amount of people there and EMS access and stuff like that. So that was not even like up to the park. And then the other situation where that happened was, I think, in 2021, or maybe it was 2020 also, during the Jelly Roll concert. And obviously, I mean, it was Jelly Roll. So, and that was also a situation that was like a fire marshal capacity situation. So if it's up to us, we will do everything we can to get you guys in. So don't panic about it. Are y'all running Bounty at Mud Bash next week? We are running an event there, the competition, but it's going to be the CMR round track race. I was actually going to talk about that. I put up a post about an hour or an hour and a half ago with all on the King of the Deep page with all of the classes and the rules and regulation for the round track race at Busco. We don't do a bounty hole there during Mud Bash just because of the amount of people. That space is used for camping, and it's just we did it there a few years ago. We did a bounty hole and the round track on the same day, and it was a lot. It was just physically, logistically moving from the bounty hole area over to the round track area during Mud Bash when there are, I mean, like more people than any event that I've ever been to. It was a little bit challenging for us and presented a lot of logistical issues. And so because of that, we do the round track race, which is their annual race at their Mud Bash, which is next weekend. And then we do the bounty hole during Fall Bash there. So we're doing the round track race. The classes and the rules were just put up about an hour and a half ago on the King of the Deep page. And we'll do a big live next week at the beginning of the week where we talk more about that. There's 5 classes. The buy-ins range per class. The payouts range per class. But I think that they're giving away like over $6,000 in cash and Busco bucks. And so the Busco bucks are basically like for second place in a couple of the classes. And those can be used towards like park entry or in the gift shop and things like that. So that covers Busco because that's next week. And that's a huge event. We are doing the round track race there. It's going to be Saturday at 12. If you want to register, registration will be like 10 o'clock to 11:30. And then we'll do the driver's meeting and then we'll have the round track race. And if you don't want to race and you want to watch, bring up your chairs, get out there early if you want to get a good seat. So back to the bounty course, challenge course here this weekend. We're not sold out. We're going to make room for everybody we can, whatever we got to do. With that being said, when you come in, we may be directing you on where to camp. So just work with us because we're trying to do our very, very best to make sure that everybody can get in and fit in and that we can maximize the space. If you are parked in a manner that is taking up more space than necessary, please don't be surprised if we come by somebody from staff from King of the Deep or the park and ask you to scooch a little bit tighter. There is no saving spaces. If you put up caution tape, it is very likely that it's going to be cut down. We can't do that here. It's just, we're trying to get everybody in. So, it's going to be a very, very packed event. So just be mindful of the space that you take when you park. Please don't take anything more than necessary. And if you want to park with a buddy, try to ride in with them so you guys can park together because it may not be the case if you don't actually arrive together. Cost for that, if you come in tonight, it's cash only for the rest of the weekend. Tonight is $50. Tomorrow it's going to be $40. Saturday it's going to be $30. That includes as many machines as you're able to bring with you. That is per person. 11 and under is free. Military, first responders, police, all of that is half price at the gate. And like I said, that price includes there's no like additional expense per machine. There's no additional expense for camping overnight. That's just your flat, that's your price for the weekend. The speed limit's 10 miles per hour. Please be mindful, especially with the amount of people that are in the park. We're having a kids event. This is a family-friendly park. There's a lot of kids riding around. Just be careful. Mind your speed, please, especially, throughout all of the camping areas, because there are kids running around and riding on their bikes and, their machines and stuff too. So please be careful for the children, for everybody, but especially for the kids. We don't want anything to happen to any kids, please. You guys are allowed to have campfires. They just want you to use a fire ring. You can bring in whatever food and drinks you want. Please don't bring any glass. There are going to be food vendors here starting tomorrow. 2 different food trucks. We've got there's hot showers. There's like over 2 dozen porta johns. They've been cleaned. So yeah, I mean, everything's good as far as that goes. The weather is amazing. It's like upper 50s at night and then like 80, like low to mid 80s day. So it is like amazing. It's perfect. We were here in July last year. I'm not going to say never, but April is much better than July. So I'm really excited to be back when it's not as hot. Shout out to all of the vendors for the event this weekend. Let me pop those up for you. We've got the Wings Place and then the Hometown Grillin' and Chillin' are your food vendors. We've also got big shout out Vessel Power Sports. That's our presenting sponsor of the small tire naturally aspirated class for this weekend. They're going to be set up. They're going to have some units and parts. If you need service on any machine, you're going to want Dirty Bird Performance Service and Sales. They're set up as well. We've also got Mudshine is out there with all the flags, t-shirts, all their really cool stuff. Dirt Road Syndicate is coming in tomorrow morning. He's going to have all of your Gator Wader apparel, anything that you might need. If you don't have boots, you might want them out there on the course because it is definitely very wet and mucky, and it's only going to get more so with the more machines and stuff that are out there. So those are the vendors. We'll be out with our stuff as usual too. So make sure you guys check out the vendors. They're a big part, of helping make these events go on. So support those that help support us and these putting on these events and making a good place for you guys. Event schedule, it's posted in the event all over our Facebook. It's even on a piece of paper when you come into the park. They're going to give you that. The biggest thing I'll say about this is if you want to do the Battle of the Barrels, that's going to happen at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll give you an update tomorrow about that. Should be over there near the course area for the Bounty Challenge course. That is free to enter. Anybody can do it. We'll have a side-by-side class. We'll have an ATV class. And it's just going to be for fun, for a good time. We'll have some prizes and stuff for you for that as well. But it is free to enter. So if you want to do something, that's kind of like, just for fun, that's the perfect opportunity for you to do it there. Saturday, the biggest thing I wanted to say for you guys about Saturday is the gates open at 8. They may open them earlier, especially if there's a line, but they're supposed to open at 8. Registration starts at 9 and it ends at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, like 10:59 and 59 seconds. I'm cutting it off. We have a very tight schedule to keep this weekend. The course takes longer than the bounty holes usually do, just because, if you think about it, normally our bounty holes are like 300 feet. This course is 2,000 plus feet. So it's going to take you longer to complete it. And we can only run you one at a time on the course. So we need everybody to be lined up, ready to go when it's time for your run, so we can get the day over as fast as we can. And, in order to make all that happen, we've got to start on time. So 11 o'clock sharp, registration is going to cut off. I would feel just terrible sick to my stomach if you made this whole trip and then you didn't allow enough time to get into the park Saturday morning, and therefore you missed registration, and therefore you were not able to compete and get your points. So make sure, you guys, if you're coming in Saturday and you're a racer, make sure that you are registering with me before 11 a.m. 11 a.m. will be the driver's meeting for both Little Dirty Kids and King of the Deep, just like we did at the last event. We're going to do it all together. It's just a lot more simple that way. 12 o'clock, we'll start the Little Dirty Kids event. And then right after that, we'll go right into the King of the Deep Bounty Series. It could be even earlier than 1. It's just basically as soon as the kids finish, we'll start with our King of the Deep series. And then after that, once that's over, we'll give you a time for the awards. I think we're going to probably do those right where, I say stage, but where we're going to be setting up the music will be probably where we do the awards right before the music starts. So that's kind of our working plan. And then we're going to have Eric Creek joining us. He's going to play some awesome music for us. We're going to have a foam party. So that's going to be a lot of fun for everyone, especially the kids, but really everybody. It's a good time. The weather's going to be nice and warm, so it'll be fun to get a little bit wet for that foam, and I'll have a good time. And then after dark, we've got some fireworks we're going to shoot off. Nothing crazy, nothing like crazy 4th of July, but we are going to have some fireworks. That's kind of fun for everybody. So that's our plan for Saturday for the schedule. Big shout out real quick to our Little Dirty Kids sponsors. We've got Little Dirty Kids is powered by Dirty Stripper Chemicals, Rob and Jen out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Their soap is like the best stuff ever. That's all we use to clean our side-by-side, to clean our truck, our RV, our boats, our lawnmowers. That's the stuff that we use. It's really, really awesome. Doug Fryer with Dirt Road Syndicate, he will be here this weekend, and I believe that he has some Dirty Stripper soap, if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to try it out, get with Doug. He's got, I mean, it's the best stuff ever. So that's our Powered by sponsor for Dirty Stripper Chemical, or for the Little Dirty Kids, Bounty Hole. Also, big shout out to Jennifer Forrester with Fast Tracks Mud Bog, Larry Sable with SableWeld.com. They're out of the Carolinas. Same thing, NC Mud, Lewis Mathis and his group, NC Mud. They are awesome. They threw in some money to support On Kill Power Sports, Smut Babies Customs, Jacob Ray, and Blaze from Blaze and Trails Performance. They also threw in Peyton Talby Racing. Now, Peyton, you'll see him racing with King of the Deep, I believe. But he's, he's a young man himself. I think he might be I don't want to speak. I'm not 100% sure. His daddy's right here. He said they're washing them up and loading now. He's like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there. Not 100% sure. But he, believes in wanting to support these kids, and, the Little Dirty Kids. The whole point of that is to give these youngsters, the ones that we would call amateurs, the ones that want to grow up to do what the big boys do one day, give them a safe place where they can do it that is not so intimidating, that is, safer for what we would call an amateur younger rider that is less experienced. So that's kind of the whole point for them, is to let them have a place to get their feet wet on, some of them, the mini mudders class, they're under 8 years old. They're riding on like 90s or like, 125cc. So it just gives them a chance to kind of be a part of it and get it going. So yeah, he's 14. That's what I thought. So Peyton will be there. He'll be racing in the King of the Deep. You'll be able to see him do that. He's got a really cool wrap on his machine. And then also, last but not least, Wethington Car Sales from North Carolina as well. So you guys just, we're all excited. We do the kids first. They're a lot of fun to watch. If you are interested and you're going to be out here and your kid wants to do it, all of the classes for Little Dirty Kids and all of the rules are on our website. If you go to kingofthedeep.com, there's a tab on the menu for Little Dirty Kids. You click on that. It'll have all the classes. It'll have the rules about the tire sizes, all that kind of stuff on there. And it's the best. It's the best. I love watching it. They come up. Sometimes they're scared. They're nervous, just like the adults are scared and nervous. Their first time on a course, you don't know what it is until you do it, right? So they're a little nervous, and then they do it the first time, and then they get so much confidence, and it's just like the most special thing ever. It's my favorite part of the day now. So that's really cool. And then we'll go right into King of the Deep. And while I'm doing that, let me say, where's my little picture for my sponsors for us? Thank you to our King of the Deep sponsors: Super ATV, Specialized ATV, OroFab and Dirty Stripper Chemicals, Aftermarket Assassins, Gator Waders, Peraza Synthetics, Monster Rigging Off-Road, Carolina Custom ATV, VP Racing, and Murray Power Sports. Every single one of these companies and the people that run them, that believe in us and stand behind us and support us, and everything from the recovery rip from Monster Rigging Off-Road, to the work that Jeremy does on our machine from OroFab, to the fluids that go in our machine from Peraza Synthetics, to the parts that are on our machine from Aftermarket Assassins, to the wrap that's on it and the trophy decals and everything else from Murray Power Sports, to the shoes that get us through these events from Gator Waders. Just everybody that supports us and is on our team. We are so blessed to have you all. Thank you for letting us, supporting us and letting us do what we do and travel around and do something that we're so passionate about and that we love to, bring for everybody here at these events. So thank you. Let's see what else we got. I did want to say one more shout out real quick to, where'd he go? To Vessel Power Sports. They did, like I said, come in, here we go, as the presenting sponsor for the small tire NA class. They are all about the Honda stuff. So when you see their booth, they've got like all your Honda all your Honda parts, aftermarket, whatever, accessories, all the things. The guy, Sydney, he's super, super cool. They've never been here before. So they're coming in, they're setting up, they're going to have some other buggies out. And I've seen some of the stuff, some of the builds that they've done. They're really cool. So make sure you check them out in the vendor area this weekend. What else can we go over for you guys? Let's see here. I'm sure you probably want to see information about the track, right? Let's see. So scroll down right here. So Steve put these things up. You guys know how he always does his drawing. Here we go. Let's pop that up for the course. What you're looking at here, and if you saw it, you can go back and look at it. If you scroll down our Facebook page, it's there. But basically at the top of this picture, right there area, the yellow is going, this course, if you ran it last year, you know, it's basically the same thing. We've just tweaked it. If you haven't run it before, you're going to start and finish in the same area. So you're going to start here on the yellow route, and then you're going to travel all the way down. You're going to go through that 3-foot deep hole of water, over a berm, into another 3 to 4 foot deep hole of water. And it's just water. Those are hard packed holes there. So it's just water there. And then you're going to go through some obstacles. There's like some tires. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. Some tires that you go over, nothing crazy, but you do need to be aware of it. And then you'll come around, you'll make a big loop that we widened out for some of the bigger machines around a big tree. And then you're going to just follow it down to the bottom. You're going to go over a big hill. And then if you're a small tire, you'll take the orange route, and we'll have the medium blocked off, and and then vice versa. When we switch to the upper classes, we will block off that orange route, and then you'll take the purple and blue route. So small is orange, medium is blue, and unlimited is purple. So blue and purple, medium and unlimited, they'll follow the same route, which is a different route than the small tire. So if you're a small tire, you're going to go through the orange, which is going to take you over some humps and into some holes. And it's about 4 foot deep. And then you're going to join back up where the orange runs out and turns back into the yellow. If you're medium or unlimited, you're going to go down the bottom route, which is purple and blue. You're going to go through some 4 foot areas, and you're going to go to some 5 to 6 foot areas. Then you're going to have a big turn. Now that was like kind of like a really tight, like 90 or even like maybe like an 87-degree turn last year. We have widened that out. We've tried to make it give you some room here on the bottom side so that if you're driving a larger bike, you'll be able to kind of cut more to the left to make that turn a little bit easier. And we have dug it out deeper. So all of these depths, that's the depth of the hole. Now we've still got water to put in. So the pictures that you'll see in a minute are not the finished product. We're playing with water tonight and tomorrow to get these depths the way that we want it. But you're definitely, I would say this, we do allow you to race up, but you need to be careful racing up, because on this medium and unlimited is going to be no joke, especially this corner, this back corner where it says 6 foot deep. It's going to be deep, like deep. So let me just say it's going to be deep. So be careful back there. If you are bringing a smaller bike, be careful. Oh, sorry, you guys. So then all of those are going to join back up in the same place. You're back on the yellow again. You're going to go in that next section, which is 3 to 4 foot deep, over a big hill. You're going to have another hole, another hill, another hole, some more. I mean, there's lots of hills and berms and holes in this. And the whole point is just to level the playing field for everybody. You know, if you've got a fast bike, that's great. If you got a bike that can dig, that's great. Like, we're trying to slow you down a little bit, give you some hills, give you some things to go up and down and over and through, and try to make this a little bit more, even for everybody. So you'll come over these hills and in these holes, and then you'll join. If you look back up on the right side, you'll see that the arrows then go back the way that you come. You'll have to go back around that tree that you came around the first time the other way, back over the tires, and then back over those 2 hills and into those water holes. And you'll come out and finish exactly where you started, which is why we can only run you one at a time. So that's the way the course is going to go. When we have the driver's meeting, we'll do the run orders randomizer on the computer if we can, like we usually do. And then while I'm getting all the paperwork together, Steve will take you guys on like a walking tour of the course, which is what he did last year. So that way it'll all make sense. Here's just the same thing. It's just an actual aerial view. This is a drone picture from last year. So this is not exactly like correct as far as the way it's been dug, because we have retweaked a lot of this today. When we got here, this picture is actually from last April, which was a little bit different than the whole way that the hole looked last June, July when we were here. And then when we got here this year, there was only one hole. There was only one track, I should say. There was no longer 2 tracks. So we've had to completely redo some stuff today and yesterday. So it doesn't really, it's this general shape, although it's not exactly, this is not the correct aerial as of to date, but this is the way it's going to work. You see the medium and unlimited goes just like I said before. The small tire has its own separate lane, and then you all join back up and you go back out the same way you came in. Here's another picture, the same one he had up. It's just flipped around from the way that those other two were. So you can see you're going to start down here where it says 3 to 4 foot deep, go over a hill, same thing, tires and obstacles around the tree, and then there's going to be 2 different lanes for medium and unlimited, and then the same thing for small tire. And then you're going to join back up. All right, so let's look at some photos real quick for you guys. Let me see if there's any questions real quick. I'm so sorry. Not really. Okay. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, what we can do for these photos. Sorry, you guys, I'm like in the truck, and let's see what we got here. Okay. This is one of the first sections that everyone's going to come through. And you can see right there, I think this is the second section. So you can see right there, like I said, the water levels are going to be adjusted. So don't really pay any attention to the water levels right now. That what you see on these photos is literally what I took at like 5 o'clock today. And it's not going to be the same as what it looks like on Saturday. This is looking back kind of from where I just was, but looking back towards the start line. You can see the excavator far off in the distance, maybe. That's where the start is going to be. So you'll have to come through these first 2 hard bottom bodies of water. Then you will get to the obstacle section with the tires. Like I said, here's the tires. They are on the ground. They are going to make things bumpy, but they're not such that they're filled in with some with dirt. So they're not going to catch your tire and rip your tire off or anything crazy. But you do have to go over this area. If you look off in the distance of this picture, you'll see on the course where you see that big tree on the back right. That's a tree you've got to go around, so that you'll hug that tree. It'll be on your right, and you'll make a right-hand turn around that tree. Then when you come back, you'll be doing the opposite. You'll be coming around that tree on your left, and you're coming back over the tires and back through those 2 water holes you just saw. This is the first real big hill that you'll come over. When you come off the back side of this hill where this photo is, this will be where you've got to determine which side you go on. So if you're going to be a small tire, you're going to veer to the right off of this hill. If you're medium unlimited, you're going to kind of stay straight ahead and go to the left-hand route. All right, so here's me standing on the top of the hill. You can see the left-hand side is the medium and unlimited lane. And you can sort of tell they're working on tracking it in. You're going to have to kind of make a right-hand turn right here and then get into that, if you're small tire, and get into that other lane out of these 2 lanes. There's 2 different ones. The small tire is the right. Left hand is going to be medium and unlimited. I hope these pictures are coming okay for you guys. Same thing, me standing on top of the hill. This is just more of like a zoomed out photo of the course, so you can see kind of like the magnitude of how big it is and what we're talking about here. This is a very long course. So it winds kind of around the trees and loop-de-loos and comes back. So this is kind of what you're looking at here, and this is not even all of it. Okay, here's another little bit closer up photo of the unlimited and medium track right here. As I said, we're still tweaking a little bit of that, adding in water, stuff like that on these. This is the small tire side, just a little bit closer up of that. What do we have here? Well, what we have here is a terrible photo. Just disregard that. That's an awful photo. I was trying to show you guys kind of the curve, but you can't really see it because of the shadows and all the dirt. It all looks the same. So, this is just the 2 holes side by side. You can see the smaller hole has a tighter curve. It's almost sort of like a horseshoe. It's real tight, but it's plenty big enough for a small bike, but it is a tighter turn on the small tire lane than the medium and the unlimited. Here's a close-up of that small tire turn. You can kind of see you're going to come into this water, you're going to make a hard right, and then you're going to come back out around the back side of that tree. So as I said, it's sort of like a horseshoe on the small tire hole. I think this is the unlimited and the medium. They kind of all look the same a little bit in these photos, but I believe that this is the unlimited and the medium. And you can see kind of off in the distance where we started to pull that far bank back so that you guys will have a little bit more room to kind of, you know, to turn wide right there. There's only so much we can do with that tree because of the roots of the tree. So we had to, and there's a tree on the other side. So we kind of do the best we can, but we did try to give you guys some more turning room right there. And then this is just a photo of like the return lane coming back where both of the holes join back together. This is kind of like the start of where they join back together. You go through that hole right there up over that hill, and then you'll be heading to go back around the tree to come back over the tires and back through those first 2 holes. So I know that's not as good as a drone video. I'm sorry. I hope that helps you guys at least see a little bit of what we're dealing with, what we're working with if you're not here. Does anybody have any questions for us on here? I think we've talked about everything mostly. I think I've got it all, I believe. King of the Deep, we're giving away $6,000. Little Dirty Kids, we've got $1,650 that have been donated by all the sponsors I mentioned. So we're super excited about that. Be mindful of everybody in the park. Be mindful of how you're camping, where you're parking, how much space you're taking. Don't rope anything off. Don't save spots. We're going to do our very best to get everybody in here that wants to be here. Like I said, we have had so many phone calls, so many messages. I think it's going to be the biggest attendance event that this park has had. We're really, really, really excited about it. So we've already sold, I think, more pre-sales from this event than we had the attendance at the last event last year. So if that is any indication, it's going to be like massively big. So just be really, really careful of everybody around you, especially these kids that we've got coming out and racing. If your kids are interested in racing, let them race. If you've got 1 4-wheeler and 2 kids, they can both race the same 4-wheeler. That's fine. We try to make it as, family friendly, budget friendly as we can, because we want everybody to get into this sport that is interested in it. It is so much better than being, inside on video games and everything else. Get your kids out here, have a nice family weekend, have a good time. It's going to be a great show. Another thing that we did different than last year, if you were here for the last event or any of the events that they've done here, is we've pushed back a lot of the, trees and stuff to give you guys a better spectator spot on the back side of the course where the deep hole for the unlimited and the medium tire is. So previously there was so much growth that you couldn't really see what was. You could see it from behind the guardrail on the front side of the course, but you couldn't really get back to the back side of the course. So now we have had them push that back and open that up a little bit. It'll still be blocked off. You still won't be able to cross over the course area, but if you come in from the back side, you'll be able to park and walk up and stand and be able to see, if you want to see where the deeper holes are, if you want to see those bikes coming through that area, then you'll be able to do that. And also that's important to note for any of the racers and stuff, so that you can actually get back there and see that area a little bit more up close and everything as the race is going on, from if you're an unlimited and you're watching the medium guys, whatnot. You guys got any questions for me? You guys have just kind of been talking. Sorry, Steve's not here. He is trying to finish up whatever he can in the daylight that we've got. Yeah, that's what I got for you guys. Let us know if you've got any questions. We will do our best to answer them. Message us, and we'll get back to you just as soon as we can. If for some crazy reason, because everybody's been worried about the park and selling out and everything, if for some crazy reason we think that we are getting close to that being a possibility, we'll let you guys know just as soon as we can. I don't foresee that happening. We're going to do everything we can, even if that means that we make new camping spots. But we're gonna try our best to get everybody in here. Just help us out. Park close together. Don't mark any spots off. Be mindful. Help us have a good event where everybody can get in and nobody's got to be turned away. And if you're on the fence about when you want to come, the sooner the better, because then you'll be able to actually hopefully get in, park where you want to park and not necessarily, where you have to park, if that makes sense. All right, you guys, that's all I got. As I said earlier, we talked about it a little bit in the beginning of the phone call. Next weekend is Mud Bash. We're rolling right out from North Carolina from Florida back to North Carolina on Sunday. We're heading home. We'll be stopping by Busco Beach to drop our stuff for Mud Bash. Mud Bash does start on Monday. It's Monday, April 29th through Sunday, May 5th. The round track racing is going to be going on Saturday, May 4th at 12 noon. If you want to enter that or compete in that, all of the rules, the classes, all the regulations, all that is just dropped on our King of the Deep Facebook page earlier this evening. You can go read through all of that. If you've raced or done it before, it's pretty much the same thing as what it's been before. There's a couple of little tweaks on like the really, I think the only thing that's really changed is like they used to give out fly racing bucks for some of the second places, and now they're going to be Busco bucks, which is really awesome because you can use that in the office. You can use that towards like your fees and stuff in the future and stuff. So that's pretty cool. If you do want to go to Busco Beach for Mud Bash, Monday and Tuesday are like free days. So if you come in on Monday, you don't even have to pay for Monday and Tuesday. You just have to pay starting Wednesday through Sunday. Your fee, like if you go on Wednesday and you stay to Sunday and it's you and you bring one machine and all of that, it's like $150 for that whole time. But that includes like your machine, your camping overnight, all that stuff. There are no Sunday, like if you leave by 10 a.m. on Sunday, there's no give back for that Sunday fee. I know that there's a lot of people that understand and have been, super understanding and get it. And then there'll be some people who have complained about it. Personally, as somebody who has traveled all over the country and done different events, it's not that big of a deal, y'all. I mean, if you don't get $10 or $20 back, like think of it as inflation. Literally everything has gone up, and Busco hasn't raised their rates, and they don't even charge like a special event price for this. It's basically whatever it's what their rates are. It's just that there's so many people coming into that event that, and so many people in the past who have taken advantage of it, that it's just logistically like a nightmare to worry about all of that. So rather than raising and saying, we're going to do an event price of whatever, or we're going to, raise your rates or whatever, they're just charging what they normally charge. It's just that you don't get the Sunday back. So, and also as somebody who was trying to leave last Sunday morning, trying to get out of that traffic of everybody trying to get their $20 back was just insane. So, cause I was just trying to make it home for church because it was like, whatever. Anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. It's a great price for, for the event of that magnitude, as far as like the vendors that are going to be out there, as far as the amount of people that's going to be out there. When we're talking about like size and, I don't know what the right word is, but like the, I guess the popularity of that event, that is, we've been to Mud Nats, we've been to the spring break, whatever redneck thing down here in Florida. I mean, we've been to all kinds of events, and that event is like one of the biggest in the nation. Busco Beach Mud Bash is one of the biggest events in the nation. So for you to be able to come to your local park, it's great. Don't worry about it. Pay the money, have a great time. Be careful, be safe, and enjoy yourself. And make sure you come see us in the vendor field. Make sure that you come check us out for the round track racing on Saturday at 12 noon. If you want to compete, registration will start at 10. Driver's meeting will be 11:30. This is for next Saturday, May 4th at Busco Beach Mud Bash, Goldsboro, North Carolina is what I'm talking about at the moment. And join us. It's going to be a really good time. If you want to watch it, I would recommend bringing your little chairs and your little coolers and marking your spot like 9 or 10 in the morning, because they'll be lining up around that racetrack pretty much soon as the sun comes up so they can get their good seats. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good show. There's over $6,000. I think it's $6,250 in cash that they're giving out. A little bit of that is Busco bucks, but that's basically cash because you can use it for future trips or in the office. So, I mean, over $6,000 in cash that they're giving out. There are 5 different classes, all the rules and everything. You got a great shot, because there's a lot of people who I think normally race who aren't going to be there this weekend because they're racing somewhere else. So you guys have a really, let me just say, I don't want to name any names, but if you thought about doing it, this is a great weekend to do it, because I think you got an excellent chance of taking home some of that $6,250. And also, if you want to know about the condition of the circle track, because we went out there a few weeks ago and the water was pretty high, as it was like it had rained a lot recently. So we talked to them and they've drained it out. and they have tried to grade the bottom of that track because I know there were some spots that were kind of, a little bit iffy in the past. They've done their best to grade it. You can only do so much with where that is right now because of the way that the bottom is on that track, but they have worked on it. And then they are refilling that with water. We asked for a couple of feet of water, like 2 feet of water. That's what we asked for. So, with Busco, you just never know what the water levels are going to do. But that's our plan. That's our goal. That is the ideal racetrack for us to run the round track on. So they have drained it. They've worked on it, and they're refilling that ready for next Saturday. So if you guys have any other questions, message us and let us know. Give us a call, whatever you need to do, pigeon mail, whatever. And we will see you guys there next weekend. If you're coming to the graveyard, come on with it, because we're getting full, and we want you guys to get in there where you fit in and just come hang out with us. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Battle of the Barrels. It's going to be a fun time. Saturday morning, registration for King of the Deep and Little Dirty Kids, 9 to 11, 11 o'clock driver's meeting, 12 o'clock, let's go racing. Y'all have a good night.